Immediately. Okay. So yeah, welcome team to today's meeting. It's really going to be a short one. We don't have any module presentation. We're just going to go through last week's issue and then we'll talk about the styling for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, so yeah, let's begin then. Which team wants to demo theirs first?
I can.
Any team that's ready can go.
So Eva, you will share your screen.
Yeah. Um, 1 moment. I'm just setting it up quickly.
By the way, just by the side, how is the other part of the program going, which is the career lab, the LinkedIn interviewing, mock interview and stuff? Have you guys been practicing or taking or viewing the videos?
No, I haven't started yet.
Okay. So whenever you can always go to the project brief. I think there is one for you this week, which is learning how to interview or something like that. And then you'll see the link to the video.
I wanted to ask, what is the keyboard shortcut to update? Like right now, I don't have the newest changes displayed when I have to follow, when I have to.
Okay. Command Shift R.
Yeah. Command Shift. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
So our issue was to basically implement the delete function. I'm gonna go into the test list here, and what we did is that we just for each list item we render the delete button here, and if we simply click on it, there's a pop-up window to confirm that we want to delete it, and we press OK, it deletes it. If we press cancel, nothing happens. Yeah, and that's it. And yeah, Didem will share the code, explain.
Yes. Share screen. Oh. Yeah. Do you see my screen? VS Code.
Yeah, I see VS Code.
Yeah. So we divided our issue as front end and back end. So first, I rendered the list delete button in the list item GSX using on-click method and on delete. Then Eva worked on the Firebase. So this is she implemented delete item. Where is it? 1 second. Here. So we use delete duck method here. So it was a bit quite easy for us because we worked on before checkbox. So delete item is it like quite similar to checkbox. So we rendered first a list item, then we updated Firebase to use try and catch method. Then after that, 1 second, I need to have. I updated here, define handle delete function here, then calling delete item method from Firebase. Yeah, if there is any fail to delete item, please try it again. And also here in the list item GSX, there is window confirm. So if you want to, do you really want to delete, for example, oats or bananas? Yeah. it is working like this. And this method I checked in the our GitHub issue. There is a method suggesting this using this method, so it was very helpful to use this window confirm. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah, Becca.
In the undelete function you just showed, I have a quick question. Can you go back? I think it's in the list. Yeah, exactly. Where is it called? Where's the handle delete button called?
Here should be up here.
Okay. And the name that it's the name of the item. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I got it. Mildly confused there. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. And any other question, or I can stop share?
No, there's not a question. It was a pretty straightforward solution from you guys, so well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seems Tata is having problems with his network. Has been joining us.
Okay. Tata, you want to go ahead?
Okay, sorry. I'm having issues with a lot of things. Sorry, please, where are we?
It's your team's turn to demo now. So she's asking, do you want to do the demo for the browser?
Okay, while she's sharing, you could just tap a list. Let me use, or let me share. Okay. The feature we're supposed to work on was sorting the list items into different categories. We have the overdue, soon, kind of soon, and not soon. we are giving different criteria for sorting the items. Most of them were based on the date next purchase, if an item is soon, not soon, and then the stretch goal was the overdue. We also worked on that as well. So if an item is overdue when the date next purchase has passed, an item is soon when the date next purchase is 7 days away from today. Kind of soon should be between 8 and 29. It should be 8 to 29. That's between 7 and 30. And then not soon is more than 30 days. Yeah, this is it displacing it would have been, we created an extra it will be able to visualize it more from the front end where we actually had the names of the categories by each, but that was technically it. And then the next feature we work on was actually getting these categories and then putting each item under each category inside the category. I've used category a couple of times, but technically, like if an item is overdue, it should be under the overdue list. Soon, it should be under the soon list and whatnot. You could also test it. Becca could test it out right now. Maybe create an item and make it overdue. The overdue list will be updated immediately. Yeah.
What item should we use? Pencils.
Yeah.
And we want to buy it kind of soon. We add the item. Where's pencils? Pencils is here. It's kind of soon, right?
Yeah.
So we look for the item over here. Once we find my list, there we go. And pencils should be somewhere here. It'll appear at some point, I swear. That's peanuts, pencils, there we go. So let's say we've purchased pencils here once, right? So
yeah, you see it's already moved to soon, as in less than 7 days.
right. But if we change pencils to, I don't know, let's say the 23rd of July, then it should be in.
You've changed it. you've changed the date last purchase.
You're right. Thank you for reminding me.
July.
Let's say it was July. Let's say we bought it then in the 30th of August.
Pencils.
Pencils is inactive now
Inactive, yeah.
because we
We could
haven't bought
also,
it in a while.
yeah. We could also just make the date last purchase. Make the date last purchase to be like yesterday, to
Sure.
display it as an overdue item. That's a stretch goal. Or any day before, yeah. Yeah,
Pencils is
it
no
should.
longer in inactive. Now
It's
it's
not.
in overdue. We should have bought
Yeah.
it a while ago.
All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. That's technically the feature.
So I'm going to go into the code base. We first were instructed to work on a function called compare purchase urgency, right? Where we had to define like now today as a means to set a point in time that we can use, because we thought of it as in a timeline, right? There's two timelines. One when the item should be purchased, so looking at the future, and one regarding the date last purchase, so looking further back. We map through the data here and use the get days between dates function to define the difference between the current date, so now you can see that here, and the date next purchased, which we had to turn into a JavaScript date object. Then we went ahead and defined, this is the urgency index, and then we went to define the inactive index. The inactive index is, again, looking back, so the date last purchased. We used a similar method that we had used in the update item function,
Yeah.
to make sure that we have a date last purchase to work with. Because if you just created the item, you don't not always have a date last purchase, right? So if we don't have one, then we use the date the item was created to define the inactive item, which then defines the days between now and the date the item was last purchased. And that is right. We define here the inactive index and the urgency index. And then we compare those to assign the categories of inactive, overdue, soon, kind of soon, and not soon. Now, the overdue category was an extra challenge in the issue, but we decided from the beginning to just take it in the code to work on it as if it were part of the challenge in and of itself, because otherwise we would have had to sort of like modify what we came up with. And then we sorted through the data using the sort method to define, to sort the data by inactivity, but also alphabetically. So, yeah, so in this case, if the urgency of A is inactive and B is not inactive, so B comes in front of A. And then if A is not inactive and B is inactive, then A comes on top of B, and then it sort of compares if the urgency index of both, and if they're the same, then it sorts based on urgency index. And if the urgency index is the same, sorry, this is if the urgency index is the same, then it's based on name here, right? This was very confusing to work. And then we updated the list item. The list item.
And I think it's a list.
The use effect, right?
It should be the list component, right?
List in the list view.
Yeah,
I'm confused
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Right.
I think
Here
it
it is. Yeah. In the list view.
should I?
Yeah. Go ahead,
Okay.
please.
Okay. Because I mainly worked on this. She mainly worked on this stuff from the Firebase. Okay. So from line 19, we had a use effect that loads every time that there's a change. It takes the function we just had to compare urgency and to sort. It takes this data element and it stores it in an items array which we created as a state variable. And then okay, just yeah, that actually handles the sorting. With this, we actually have the items which are categorized, like because we did this initially and we had labels by each item telling their categories in the list view. We had each item soon, not soon, and whatnot. So now the second part of the front end was supposed to categorize this, give them general categories soon, and then put all the items under. Please, you could scroll down a bit where we had the group item. Yeah, okay, from line 54. We created a group items object. We use the .reduce function to create an object where we can have item categories as maybe keys, and then now the different items in that category as properties of that particular object, like a like yes, actually like an object where we have the object and then an array with all the items as properties. So we if the category from line 55, if the category is non-existent, we have an empty array, so it won't display anything. Else we push all the items that match that particular category, and then we return ACC, we return the object. Okay, so you could scroll down now where we have the actual implementation. Okay, line 128. Okay, so initially we map through the grouped items. Like I said, the keys are the categories, and then each key has list items under them. So we first of all map through the keys, which are the categories. Grouped items dot map, we map through the categories, and then in every mapping of a category, we also map through that particular category key. We map through the category key to get the items that fit the category, and then we display them here. So inside the UL, we have another UL, like each mapping, each category mapping has another mapping within it for every item that matches the category. Yeah, that was more or less the issue.
Nice.
You can see here the
Where did you define the category?
Okay, in the back end
in the Firebase.
where the code for Becca, yeah. So there's this item dot category. If according to how we have the inactive index and urgency index, the urgency index just tells us between today and the date next purchase, how many days are in between. Inactive index just tells us between the date last purchase and today. So if the date last purchase is far behind, it becomes inactive. Else we do the comparisons. If the inactive index is less than 0, it's overdue because the day has passed. If urgency index is less than 7, less or equal to 7, it's soon and whatnot, kind of soon. Or if it is greater than 30, it's not soon. Yeah. So we get this and then we assign categories to each item by default, so that we just use the same category variable and sort them out in the front end.
You can also see the categories being assigned.
Can I see the UI again? I'm not sure I saw the not soon category.
Yeah, we are there's according to here, there's no item. Just create anyone.
Oh, okay. Okay. So when you don't have an item under each category, you don't show the category. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's why this rendering that Tato worked on is Is it a conditional here? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. If there's no
It's conditional.
category, it just returns an empty array. It doesn't display anything. Yeah.
So I saw an item at the top of the page, but it's not being used.
Yeah.
But the
Actually, it's been we set items to the sorted item. It's just we could actually have used items to map through the elements, but it's because immediately we call this function and notice that it sorts it sorts the data itself and then it returns it to items. So we could either use items or data to map through. But is that we actually need the set items to call the function in front of it. I saw that when I tried to just call it normally, it caused some other errors, and I didn't want to start working on that because we had to complete this other front end issue. But I actually do intend to go through it. Yeah, it complicated some of the stuff. I just said let's leave what's working for now, and later on, we could refine the code.
yeah, I understand, but the set items, is it doing anything then?
The set item is a state variable for the items. For the item, it actually is supposed to take this sorted array, the sorted list that we just had. It's
Yeah,
supposed to take it as the input, and then we're actually supposed to map but through items, but we map through data
data.
instead.
So
And,
since you're not mapping with items, will it be safe to delete line 16 and 23 then? Did you try?
16 and 20. That's the stuff. Like I said, when I actually removed this part where we called this function, for some reason it's just I did not take time to look into it too much because I was trying to work on the rest of the issue.
Oh,
But actually I wanted to take time to look through it. I don't know why exactly. And actually it's
We
more
ran into this problem several times where all the items end up in the undefined category for one reason or the other.
so I think it's because you're awaiting and asyncing, even though you're not doing an asynchronous operation. Because fetch items, you're not getting it from the database. You already have access to data. This component has access to data fully from the database.
Yeah, actually.
I think that's why though. Because then because of that, they um this line is then returning a promise or something. But I think that's it though. So maybe if you have some time these last 2 weeks, you can refactor a little bit. Yes.
Yeah. I actually had intentions to do it. It's just my time caught me, and even today I've been so busy. I'm surprised. Sundays are usually not this busy for me, but
Yeah, this
anyways.
week was very challenging. Absolutely. But shout out to Tato as a teammate. Actually working on this issue this week, we were kind of scared. But we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it
It was a
was
lot of fun working on it.
it's a lot actually. It's a lot, and it can get confusing because there are way too many parameters to sort by, so it's very easy to miss it. But I'm so
Yeah,
happy it works. Like I was very happy on, was it Thursday when I asked about the office hours, said it was not working. So good job to you guys.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's it. Does anyone have any questions about this particular ticket? All right. So we are going to talk about the styling now. So the last 2 weeks is usually for styling and refactoring. I want to bring my happiness in order. Oh, this is the one you worked on, right? This is the one you worked on. That's it now, right?
That's our issue for this
Yes.
week.
Oh, okay. I'm going to close it. So we have just one remaining, which is the styling. So it says, as a user, I want the app to look professional and welcoming. The last 2 weeks of the project will function a little differently than the rest. Your team will self-organize around a lightweight design process to come up with a polished look and feel for your app. This will require you to make decisions together as a team, then implement your vision. The process outlined here is our best suggestion for how you can proceed, but feel free to do whatever approach you deem fit. So you will notice that this is the last issue. That's because the expectation is for you to write the stories needed to complete. So we don't know what the week is going to look like for you. Are you going to how you're going to delegate your task? You know, is someone going to set up Tailwind, for example? Is someone else going to design on Figma if any of you has design experience, you know? So however you end up delegating the task among yourselves, then each of you can then come on GitHub and then create the issue describing whatever it is, assign it to yourself, and then start working on it. More on that later. So as always, lean on your mentors for guidance. So the design process, what is the tone you're going for? What feeling are you trying to convey? Come up with 3 to 5 words that best capture how you want the users to perceive the app. Example, fun, clean, ionic, you know. So create a mood board. A mood board helps everyone get on the same page in terms of the direction in which you want to take your design. Decide on fundamental elements of your design, including the typography, the colors, the iconography, the imagery that you want to use. Then decide whether you want to use CSS from scratch or use a framework like Tailwind. If you want to use vanilla CSS, it gives you more control, but it can be harder and really can be bulky, you know, as against using a framework that you can just like install, set it up, and then start using already. Then if you choose to use a framework, evaluate your options to make sure you pick the one that suits you. Consider the following: quality of documentation. That is what you need to consider when choosing a framework. The quality of the documentation, the ease of integration, built with accessibility in mind, and then how big the community is so that you can easily find help. And then we have some suggestions for you to use. So this is basically what the last 2 weeks is for. Normally you're supposed to like meet initially probably on Monday, and then like just decide how you want to go about it. We have some suggestions there. How do you want your app to look eventually? Know the people that have design experience. Anyone that can use Figma can champion that area, you know, trying to like put something together for your app. If none of you can use Figma, you can look at Dribble or Pinterest, all those design platforms to just like find an already existing design that you can use, and then choose the CSS, how you want to go about your CSS, you know. You can also choose it depending on what you already know, what you already used, and then what you want to also use. Like some people can decide, I've used Tailwind before, now I want to try Bootstrap. Another person can be like, I've not used Tailwind, so I want to try it, you know. So just like reach a consensus about what you want to do and what you want to use. So because we don't have like a structure for the last 2 weeks, we are going to still hold a meeting on Sunday. But during the meeting, we expect you to like tell us how you went about the week and then what your goal for the week was. We don't expect a finished CSS, finished designed application by coming Sunday, a week today, because you have 2 weeks to do that. But we probably expect you to have made some progress, like you've installed Tailwind, you've styled some of the pages, but you're not done with the other pages, or, you know, you can also choose to like delegate one person to just like fix things if there are bugs or what's it called, refactoring, while the other three does the CSS. So anyhow you want to do it, but we just need you to have a solid plan from Monday, Tuesday when you have your meeting. Have a solid plan on how you want the week to be, and also apportion it properly because you only have 2 weeks. So if you're going to know what you want to do this week, know what you want to do next week. Don't leave a lot of work next week so that you don't get caught up, with the deadline. So you have to like do most of them, at least half of them this week, so I can finish up next week. Yeah, so and you can create threads to discuss what you want to discuss. Like if you want to talk about like CSS, someone can create a thread for that, and then the rest of you can talk under the thread, just to make things organized and easy to follow. But that's it. Do you have any questions?
Mainly to the group. When are they available tomorrow? I would go ahead and start thinking about what time we can meet.
Okay. Maybe you can just have an initial sync and then do the rest async, or anyhow you want to do it, so that all of you can be on the same page, and then everyone knows what they are doing exactly. You can also choose to delegate 2 people, like 2 of you take care of this, the other 2 can take care of this. Anyhow you want to do it at all, depending on the tasks you have. And then when you've decided on who is doing, then you can come on, because we still have to review the code. So you also have to create an issue, describe what the issue is about, tag the people that are working on that issue, so that when you make a PR, the mentor is also going to make reference to that issue just to see what the PR is trying to do before reviewing. So it's very important.
I can suggest something. Maybe we can use Trello board, something to share the task, or what do you want? Like a project management tool, so we
I would
can.
stick. I would stick to GitHub. No.
GitHub. Is there any something like this in GitHub?
We have
So
been
I mean,
working with the ticket system. So for the user cases, you mean?
yeah,
Sorry.
like a project management tool. Did you heard Trello, Asana, something like that before?
I have, but I think it's a bit unnecessary since we've been working with GitHub so
Okay.
far as a board, as a task management board.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I also think that just to set it up and get everyone on board, it would just take time since we only have 2 weeks. So I feel like.
Okay, yeah.
I also wanted to ask if anyone in our group is actually good with design or has like experience with Figma. No, I mean I'm really bad at
I-
design.
I have experience with Figma, but I am absolutely dog water at it. I'm
Okay.
terrible.
So I would say if there's no one who would be at least a little bit better than the rest, maybe we would just say that just check out other designs and try follow it, maybe change some minor things because, yeah.
Maybe we can look into Dribble. Does everybody know what Dribble is?
Yeah. And I
I'm
also
gonna
wanted
put
to
it in the chat.
ask already if anyone has any like CSS framework preference, or if
I can prefer Bootstrap, but
yeah.
because
I
I
would like to
used
work with
Bootstrap before, but I didn't use the Tailwind, CSS, something like that. But I'm okay. I can learn how to use Tailwind.
I
But
would
I
like to
prefer
learn how to use
Bootstrap.
Tailwind. Okay. Sorry. I would like to learn Tailwind myself.
Yeah.
I haven't used it before. Well, I've used it very marginally. I think it could be cool.
I feel Tailwind is also a nice thing to learn. I already use Tailwind. I also use Bootstrap, but I will also say Bootstrap is always comes out, everything out of Bootstrap comes out looking very similar. So maybe Tailwind might be a bit nicer.
Okay.
I also, if I were to branch to something new, I would maybe try Material UI, but I feel like it might be the time limit might be too little for everyone. Okay. Then if Tato is okay, I guess we would say Tailwind already.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm not making any statements. I'm pretty okay with almost anything. I'm just listening to what you guys are saying, and I'll adapt.
Okay.
There's Material Tailwind, so we can find a compromise that way.
Yeah, material theory.
It is. I just put it in the chat. I swear.
Seriously. Wow. I think we will come.
Should we pin down a time to meet tomorrow, as many of us as possible?
Yeah. Yeah, we should.
I would suggest. Sorry, Tato, go ahead.
No, I just said we should actually pick a time to meet tomorrow. Now.
Becca, for me, after 1 p.m.
Okay.
Okay.
As for me, I'm pretty flexible tomorrow. I might just be a bit tired up towards evening, but by 7, okay, that should be 8 p.m. Equals time. By 8 p.m. you guys' time, I should be free.
Yeah, I think for me, evening works also better. Technically, I could be available from 6 p.m., maybe 5:30, but I can also do later in the evening.
I would prefer 6 p.m. as well, so that we can have a good chunk of time to talk things through and plan ahead.
Well, I guess maybe if not everyone can do 6 p.m., we could maybe start if we want to, and then maybe take a break. And if Tata can join later, we can also continue. I'm pretty also in the evening flexible, so we could maybe just try to work on or like before. Yeah.
Okay. I think that works.
And does it work for you or?
I will let you know today. I need to discuss my husband because my daughter, maybe he
Okay.
can pick her up. So maybe I can join 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Most probably I can join.
Yeah, okay.
I do have an appointment at 8, so I won't be available from 8 onward. So could we do kind of like a overlap?
Yeah.
When I leave, Tato can come in and someone fills him out. Is that okay for everyone?
Yeah.
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 Thank you.
All right.
All right, I'll send an invite.
Okay.
So I've created a thread, just a general one, but feel free to create other ones just to manage the conversation and reach out to us if you need anything. So I would suggest as you're going through the code base and you find like this particular one that Tata said is going to look at again, I suggest you also create a thread just to like update the refactoring you plan to do on the application so you don't forget, because we'll do presentation cohort-wide presentation. So someone can ask a question based on, something like you had in mind to update and then you probably forgot. So it's good to like keep track of it so that you can remember and go back to that.
Okay. Will do. Also, there was the Viviana mentioned something with I and Didem's issue last week. I asked her about it during the office hour. She mentioned that we should try and implement something to normalize all the items in a user's list so that they could all have the same casing, if lowercase, uppercase, and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we got in contact with her. Like it wasn't too much code. So I and Becca just did after we asked during the office hour. When we were done with our issue, we just sort of did it. There's a branch already. Just we hadn't created a PR. We just wanted to first of all like send it out there that hey, we worked on it. I was actually supposed to mention it in the general chat. I just slapped stop.
What did you do, like to sentence case?
Yes. We converted all the like every item starts initially with an uppercase letter and then the rest are lowercase letters to
Okay.
just make it constant. We initially tried to use the normalization function we used with that I and them created, but then it removed space bars and special characters, and that wasn't very user friendly. So we rather just chose to use casing and let it at that. Yeah.
That's okay. You can just like go through it again and make a PR so that when you're merging for this week, you can merge everything. That's nice.
Okay.
All right. So we don't have any other questions, right? We'll keep an eye on Slack in case if you have any questions. But we really expect you guys to like take charge and come up with something on Sunday. You'll not be like, okay, this week we decided to do this so this is what we came up with, you know. So good luck to all of you and see you on Slack.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.